This technology is very hot in the market. There is a lot of requirement.
Okay.
Even if you just go to LinkedIn and go to jobs and search, you will get minimum 30 plus openings.
Okay. What are the job roles available? Let's say 3 to 5 years experience.
When you are doing some coding like Java, C,
Mm.
C++, like we can generate the code using multiple AI tools that we have. But this is moreover transforming the business process. So this is something that AI cannot do.
Today's podcast will give you information on a different job role. It's related to finance. Today's host, Hema, is working as an EPM manager. Now, what is an EPM manager? What exactly she does in her company? How people like you and me can come to this job role and how secure it is going forward. And the best part of this conversation is the job role that we spoke about is actually a deficit in the market, which means they are actually looking for on a daily basis for this job role. So if you can prepare yourself for this, there's a high chance that you can get into this role very soon. So stay tuned, listen to the podcast. The podcast starts in 3, 2, 1. I'm very much inspired from your life journey.
Okay.
Saying that you got married first, then you finished your education, then you started working. Today's world, if you see, people don't want to get married. They just want to
True.
keep working and having money and have some fun with it. But your case, how did that happen? Is it some social pressure, or is this a cultural thing that you had to go through, or how did the marriage happen before even completing the study?
Yeah, so this is due to some family situation.
Family situation.
Yeah, and so yeah, my life is slightly different from what people expect these days. So I did my studies, and then sorry, I got married and then did my studies, and then built my career. Yeah. So
Yeah, what did you study? I mean,
so I did my engineering. Yeah.
so today, if someone will be sitting at your position before completing his or her education, and by any circumstance he or she would be asked to get married,
Mhm.
what do you do? What would you advise?
Okay, so according to me, my marriage didn't stop me from anything. It was not a
Yes,
limitation.
yes,
It actually made me more responsible, more matured, and focused as well.
yeah.
So I would say like my personal life and professional life grew together.
Mm.
So it is by option. So we
Mm.
can't say anyone to be like this. So nowadays people are like they wanted to be financially independent and have stability in their career and then plan for their marriage. That is absolutely acceptable, right? So it is their choice.
Yes.
Yeah. At the end of the day, like everyone life is different, and there is no strict timeline for anything in our life.
Mm.
So everyone has a different story.
So enterprise performance management consultant, that's a
Hmm.
job role.
Correct.
So what that job role specifically does, I mean, someone in your position,
Hmm.
what generally they do on a day-to-day basis, or overall
Hmm.
what they do?
Okay. So overall, we help client to make business decisions using the data and technology.
Okay.
So we mostly work with the CFOs and the finance folks from the client end. We help them to do their budgeting, forecasting, planning for their future. So we make them understand where they stand now and how they're going to be there in the future,
Okay.
right? So that they can plan their revenue or expenses accordingly and then save the firm from any risk.
Okay. So this is before you getting the project, or once you receive the project, you analyze all those things?
Yeah. So there are like different steps in getting the projects. So before project, the first step of the project is like RFP, where it is a request for proposal. So we get the proposal from the client. We go through, so that will have all the pain points that the client is having. So we go through all of them and come up with a suggestion like which technology will better suit them. Because when you consider enterprise performance management, there are like many tools in the market, and we work primarily on the top 3 or 4 tools.
Okay.
So among them, we just check which tool will better fit their requirement, right? And then which is going to solve their problem. For example, if the client might be having 30 days time to do their budgeting, But when we use now, they might be doing it manually. But when we bring in this tool, they might be able to complete it in 2 weeks. So that is going to save them 2 weeks of time, and there might be like 50 to 60 resources who is working on the similar process. So that is going to save time, and they'll be able to plan in advance. So they'll be able to freeze their budget and plan for their forecast. So these terms might look something different, but this is something that we do in everyday life. For example, if you're planning for a movie with your friend, so you plan for a budget. So I'm going to spend 2,000 for a movie. So that is called budgeting. So when it is forecasting, throughout the day you keep checking how much I spent and how much is balance is retained, so that you'll plan to spend the remaining amount for that day, right? And you'll make sure that you're not going beyond that budget, because
Correct.
you do not have that much money. So we do it in everyday life, but this is something that we do for the client at a firm level,
On an
at a very
industry
broad
level,
level. Correct.
when you talk, this has different terms.
Correct.
So this is more sounds like into finance.
Yeah.
But you did your engineering in
Electronics.
electronics. So how this transition happened?
Okay. So I started my career as a campus hire, where I was trained in multiple technologies.
Okay.
Right. So that made me understand how the industry works, how the IT industry works, and what are the technologies there in the market. So I was able to understand all these things during the initial phase of my career, and then I was put into EPM project, and this is more of a technical role. So I started learning the technology, and then slowly, when you start interacting with the client, you hear all the financial terms from them. So we start going through them and understand the financial concept. Then only we'll be able to speak comfortably with them, because we cannot speak the technical language to the client. They'll not understand. So instead, we have to speak a little bit on the financial terms as well, because we are building the tool for the finance team. So this is more of a bridging the gap between the technology and the business.
So what I understood is you initially joined because your campus happened. So after you finished your engineering, you got trained into financial sector itself, and you grew in that sector. Is that
No,
correct?
I was not trained in finance sector, because initially I started building EPM tool. It's a technical skill. So I started with this technical, knowing this technical skill, and then slowly, as I grew up in the career, I started understanding the finance process as well.
Okay.
So to work on EPM tool, you should know a little bit of basics of finance and also the technology.
What is an EPM? This enterprise performance management.
Yeah, enterprise performance management is it's a domain where you have like multiple tools you can use to build a solution for the client. So when you say EPM tools in the market, there are like Oracle provides EPM tool, SAP provides EPM tool, even Anaplan, OneStream. There are like multiple EPM tools in the market.
So those tools will have this, let's say, budget forecasting and analytics. Those things you can do.
They'll
with these
have the
tools.
options, yeah.
Okay.
So we understand the client's current process, and we try to build that process in this tool to save time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if someone passed out for youth, or because campus happened, you went in this way. So someone from electronics, let's say, passed out from electronics branch, and he or she wants to go in this finance. First, you tell me, is this decision would be correct because he has electronics, and going into finance, will that decision be correct itself?
Yeah,
what
so
you
whenever you want to work in any technology, you have to keep learning, because technology changes very fast. Whatever may be the technology, you should keep learning. So finance is not a difficult domain,
Okay.
right? And I'm not asking to go through the advanced concepts. Just understand some of the basics, so that you'll be comfortable when speaking with the
No, my
finance
question is,
folks.
why should someone go to finance?
This is not purely finance.
Okay.
It's a technology plus business.
Okay.
So business means it's a finance. So it's partially technology and finance.
Okay. So there are no specific pros that you get in working this domain, right? Let's say someone is IT, someone working purely in IT, fear of AI, fear of layoff, those things scared them, and you have to, someone in IT, they have to upgrade themselves like every other day.
Correct.
In that way. But if you go into finance, is that a kind of stable case if someone working in finance?
Yeah, I would say it is little bit
Kind
stable,
of, yeah.
because when you're doing some coding like Java, C, C++, like we can generate the code using multiple AI tools that we have. But this is more over transforming the business process. So this is something that AI cannot do. But there are some bits and pieces where we also use AI to improve the process or to expedite the process.
So in my understanding,
Mhm.
previously, what
Okay.
I have understood a business is,
Mm.
I think a lot of people will agree also, what they think business is opening a shop or running a small restaurant,
Mhm.
which is a business. I don't disagree. But if you see the real business
Mhm.
people do in broader way, where let's say minimum 100 people to 300 people to thousands of people
Mhm.
work for that farm. So there are a lot of things gets involved, isn't it? A lot of
Right, right, right.
processes and a lot of terms and technologies and what do you call the surrounding itself get lots of changes that you understand a lot of things that happens in the real world,
Right,
isn't it?
right.
So how much learning if someone doing his personal business, like let's say
Hmm.
me,
Hmm. Hmm.
and someone is doing on a broader scale,
Hmm.
how different that is going to be, and what advice if you can give. Let's say you have into business domain and I don't have business domain, but I run a small business.
Hmm.
So what advice you can give, any advice if you can?
Okay. So when it is a bigger business,
Mm.
they use various tools,
Yes.
right, to analyze their business.
Yes.
So for example, I had one of my friend who was doing a cosmetic business as a part-time job. He
Mm.
was working in the same domain. So what he did is he built his own EPM tool where he was storing all his daily sales data,
Oh, okay.
and he was trying to analyze on the data, because you can set up the tool to generate the budget or the forecast, so how the business future is going to be.
Mm.
So this was something he did set for his own business,
Mm.
and he's still running the business. So when it is a big firm, they analyze a lot, like how
Mm.
my business is going to be next month, after 2 months how it is going to be.
Mm.
So there is a lot of analysis that is involved, and there are like various departments, like the departments are spread and the owners are spread, right? So they plan for different options. Yeah.
Right. So मेरे हिसाब से what I'm thinking is people should not consider businesses if they don't have less than 100 employees. It's not a business.
That is not true. I would say like someone with
See,
more, yeah.
that should go to a different category, self-employed category. Okay.
Okay.
If it is a business, you know how they should, they actually study the market first before launch a product or something, isn't it? They study
That is
the
true.
market,
That is
they
true.
study the demographics, they study how the future is going to look like. Those things
That is
come into the
true.
picture and then they launch a product. So
Very
before
true.
launching the product, they analyze a lot of things, which doesn't happen in a small scale business, and because of which self-employed, I mean, a lot
Mhm.
of business also grow from small scale, but things has to be considered carefully. So that is why we are doing this, so that the awareness
Yeah.
increase.
I would say whether it's a small business or big business, it involves like more logical thinking, and some
Yes.
analytical skills is
Yes.
required for the person to grow in the
Mm.
business.
It is a science. Doing a business is a
Yeah, that is
science.
true.
You know? Now, let's say someone has interest in business
Hmm.
and wants to go in this process,
Okay. Okay.
the
Hmm.
job role that you are
Yeah.
having. What he has to study, he or she has to study in terms of degree. I believe degree, any degree will work,
Yeah,
because
that is true.
you're coming from electronics. But what knowledge that he or she should have to crack an interview and to sustain in this job? You mean, is there any specific course or something like that they should study, or
Hmm.
uh, how it is, how it should happen, so
Okay.
that a interview in an MNC company they should be able to crack?
Mm-hmm. So I would say start with understanding the basics of finance, like what is budgeting, forecasting, reporting, and some of the basic functionalities in Excel. Because at the end, everyone uses Excel, right, for all their data
Especially for
analysis.
business
Yeah,
purpose, yes.
yeah. So we need to understand some of the basics, and then get into the technology. So there are many EPM tools available in market. Focus on one tool, and there are many institutes offering training as well. So we can go through the training, but during the training we need to understand the real time business scenarios. So I've seen in interviews where people have a lot of theoretical knowledge, but when we ask something a scenario based or a practical question, they will not be able to answer.
Mm.
right? So
Application is not known.
right, so whenever they are learning only, they need to go through these things as well. It is not just about reading from the book or reading from the PDF, right? So they should maybe, if they are getting trained in an institute also, that is fine, but still they need to understand these things, and all the materials are available online. So now every material is reachable for us, right? There are like many real time client scenarios available online, which they can go through. It's purely based on the person's interest.
Yeah, interest also, and they should know that the theory that's happening in the book and the real time things that's going to happen are entirely different in case of finance and in case of business, because lot of things you can calculate profit and loss for a month or so, but when you jump into real business, lot of factors, traffic, how much traffic is coming to that area, how weather affecting that business, and holidays affecting that business, lot of factors will
So there is
affect it.
also COVID impact that is calculated.
COVID
What is
impact,
the
yeah,
impact from that, and how the future is going to
yeah.
be.
Now the war is
Yeah,
affecting the
true.
business, so a lot of things when you go to the real world, real field, entire lot of variables come into the picture, isn't it?
Yes.
What are the job roles in finance? I believe now you are a manager. There are a lot of job roles shall be there, I believe, under you,
Yeah, yeah.
which you will be managing. So, what are some job roles that you look after in this finance domain? What are the job roles available? Let's say 3 to 5 years experience people.
So when it is 3 to 5 years experience, usually they get into a consultant role. So there is an analyst role which is for the freshers, but 3 to 5 years experience gets into a consultant role. And 5 to 9 years experience people work on a senior consultant role. So all these roles involves like analyst, consultant, and senior consultant role involves building the solutions. But manager role involves connecting with the client and understanding their business, understanding their functional requirements, and converting into a technical requirement, so that the team will be able to comfortably work on it.
Give me some questions. Give me some. Let's say you are taking interview for this role.
Okay.
Ask me some questions that you would expect from the candidate.
See, one thing is this technology is very hot in the market.
Okay.
Okay, there is a lot of requirement.
Okay.
Even if you just go to LinkedIn and go to jobs and search EPM, you will get minimum 30 plus openings.
Okay.
Okay, even only in Bangalore also you'll get that many.
So if someone is fresher, what's the scope for them? And yeah.
See, for example, in my firm, they take freshers from top colleges.
Okay.
Like VIT, NITs. They don't take from tier 2 colleges, and even in Bangalore, they take from top colleges like BMS, CMRIT. But I would say when someone is a fresher, they can train in this tool, and they can work in small firms for at least 1 year. If they have 1 year of experience, then we can easily take into any firm. I mean, it's easier to get into big firms like this.
So if someone is working but not in this technology, not in this tools, EPM tools, so they should have prior knowledge, some prior knowledge in order to get into this. Is this what you're saying?
Correct. So no. When someone is working in a different domain, if they are interested in this, they can still learn this tool. There are many coaching centers offering this tool.
Okay.
So they can learn this tool and they can transition also. It is just that they have to clear the interview. And people nowadays, what they're doing is they get trained and then they join the firm as a contractor, and then they get
Switch.
permanent role, because that will be easier for people switching from other domain, so they can learn and then switch.
So now you said you are looking for such people because there's a deficiency for this role. So if someone watching and he or she has training in EPM tools and finance, how they could reach you, or should they reach you, or how does that happen?
See, even I post in LinkedIn for the job openings, so people reach out to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we shall not share your LinkedIn, right?
No, it's public only. There's
LinkedIn
nothing.
is public, right? We can share.
Anyone can share. Yeah.
So we'll post LinkedIn profile. You can go and check, and if you have skill, you can.
Are you recording this?
It's recording.
Oh God. Okay.
Shall we cut this?
No, I don't want the LinkedIn profile to be shared.
That is why I asked. Shall we keep
Ha, ha,
LinkedIn
ha,
or
ha,
shall
ha.
we not?
I thought this is not recording because you said you're going to cut.
I cut it.
You
I pressed
started
it
it.
again.
Oh, God. Okay. Yeah, because that will become an issue.
That's why I asked first
Mm.
key. They will comment. They can comment,
Huh,
right?
but they can comment and they can always search in LinkedIn. They'll easily get.
They should
It's not
search.
about
That's
yeah.
the better way.
Correct, correct.
Perfect, perfect. Yeah, I think we covered the necessary things that we.
Oh God, this training thing. I don't think we should not include.
Which one?
This thing I'm saying, na, like people from other domain get trained and then they are. I don't know whether it will become an issue.
Okay, we'll cut it. Whatever you don't need, we'll cut it. I know.
I thought you are asking seriously for someone and I'm answering.
I am asking seriously. Okay, we'll cut that training. I'll take a note. You know? Training from.
Yeah, if you want, we can discuss in generic instead of me explaining particularly the weeks and all. I can still speak about that. That is not.
I didn't get that.
No. See, when I'm saying about the trainings, I can say generally. So there are firms where there's a lot of requirement in the EPM. So they do some trainings before joining the firm only. So the HRs are responsible for searching for candidates who are looking for job. So if they have some prior experience in finance and if they are a BCom or CA candidate because they all know finance well. So they look for these candidates and whoever is looking for a switch, they get the profile and then they do a small interview kind, and then there are firms who are offering trainings, and then they hire them and provide some post hire trainings also. So there are like various options available because this is one of the hot skill in the market, I would say, and AA cannot completely replace this.
Let's learn the skill then.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone is there, I guess. But anyway, we finished almost everything that has been there, and I think if someone is watching this video, they will get benefit out of it, isn't it?
That is true. So whoever is very curious to learn new technologies, they can always land into a new job.
True. Okay. That's it from my end.
Okay, so are you looking for a switch?
Will you hire me? uh, I don't have work. I'm experienced in finance. Maybe I should learn it. I don't know. My brother is into finance. He is working for a company.
Is it? Oh, okay.
He's into what is that called? I don't remember, but he is into finance. It's the same thing that you said, no? Budget forecasting. He's
Yeah.
into it.
So when it is finance, they purely work on the finance concepts like accounting and different finance tools and everything. But when it is technology, we take care of both. It's not just about finance. It's not a pure finance work. We interact with the finance folks, but we work on the technical. We understand their pain point and we work on it technically.
Understood.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you cannot work on their finance directly,
Correct.
but there are some tools that you will be using to solve those problems. Is
Correct,
what,
correct. So there might be some manual process which the finance team might be having, which is consuming more time, but we will have a simple solution for them to come over that.
Understood. Okay. If I learn finance, I'll connect with you.
Sure.